Hey soul family, welcome back to the channel. This is the White Feather Tarot, and in today's reading we are doing your shadow's message on what to focus on exactly to heal. And to do this reading we are going to be picking between three piles. Let's see what we get. 1, 2, and 3. All right, so let's see what we have. For pile number 1, we have Krishna's assistance. I hope you can see that. Let me adjust that. Ah, there we go. Krishna's assistance. For pile number 2, we have Arjuna's dilemma. And for pile number 3, we have Shibi's Shibi's selflessness. All right, if you like to pick with crystals, let me add these right now. There we go. I originally planned for 3 other crystals, but when I saw the vibrance of the cards, I felt I needed to match it with the type of vibrance of energy from the colors of the stones or the crystals for this reading. So this is what I came up with. For pile number 1, we have the Amazonite. For pile number 2, we have the yellow Aventurine. And for pile number 3, we have the red Jasper. All right, so take a look at which one of these 3 piles or 3 crystals you're the most drawn to. And that's probably the pile for you here today. Let me push them up a little bit so that you can see your cards. I was going to say without the shadow, and that's the whole point of this reading. So yeah, take a look at which one of these 3 piles or crystals you're the most drawn to, and that is probably the pile for you here today. As I always say, if you feel drawn to more than one pile, or maybe all of the piles, always trust your intuition, because there will be a strong message there for you. Your intuition is your magic. It always guides you to the right readings, whether it's just 1, 2, many, or maybe all, depending on what you feel that day and what you're drawn to. Trust your intuition. It's a muscle that you're going to build that will never lead you the wrong way. It's a muscle that you're going to depend on for the rest of your life. So take a look at the piles and see which one or ones you're the most drawn to. And as usual, you'll find the timestamps down in the description box. Click on your times, and I'll see you in your readings. Hey soul family, welcome to the shuffling and the card picking and preparation process. It is so lovely to have you around as we prepare your piles for you. It's one of my favorite times that I spent with you guys. So thank you for being here. I feel that it's important to have your energies as we prepare for your piles. So before we begin, let me introduce the cards that we will be using today. On the left are the oracle decks, and on the right are the tarot decks that we will be using for this reading. All right, so let's now begin your pile preparation process, and let's set our intention. So, what is your shadow's message on what you should focus on exactly to heal? What is your shadow's message? Thank you. On what to focus on exactly. Now, interesting. I'm seeing this one. Exactly to heal. Okay. Next. Oh, this one I feel, so I'm gonna put here. What is your shadow's message on what to focus on exactly to heal? Okay. Let's take the tea leaves and divide them into 3 parts. So 1, 2, and 3. Let's go ahead. So what is your shadow's message on what to focus on exactly to heal? Thank you. Right. Thank you. Oh, 2. Okay, great. All right, so let's now start with your tarot cards. Oh, we'll be taking 2 from each deck. So these are 2 cards. 1 and 2. I feel this one, I gotta take it. I'll put it here. Right. So the second pile has 3 of these cards. I just had to, it was taking out, it was calling for my attention. Okay. So, what is your shadow's message on what to focus on exactly to heal? So, 1, 1, and 1, 2, 2, and 2. Right. Next. Sorry. Okay. What is your shadow's message on what to focus on exactly to heal? Thank you. 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Last deck for this reading. Your shadow's message on what to follow, what to focus on exactly to heal. What to focus on exactly to heal. What to focus on exactly to heal. Thanks. 2 and 3. All right. So we have our 3 piles for today ready. Now let's put them together neatly so we can start your reading. So that is pile number 1. There we go. And pile number 1 is, I gotta do this again. There we go. Pile number 1 is now ready. with the Amazonite. Pile number 2 is ready with the yellow Aventurine. There we go. Pile number 3. Is ready with the red Jasper. There we go. I believe the 3 piles are now ready. Thank you so much for being part of this process, for spending this time with me. It is such a pleasure having you around, having beautiful souls like you around. I will always say it is one of my biggest blessings. Thank you guys very much for being you, for making this community such a beautiful one. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you for choosing to be part of my community. I will forever be thankful and blessed. So I don't want to waste your reading time. Just have to show my gratitude every single day with what I feel. I will never stop doing that. Thank you for being you. And let's get into your reading. Oh, love you. Hi, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen this beautiful Amazonite as well as this really interesting card with Krishna's assistance. The story in this card is a really interesting one. Let's first see how it's going to fit into your reading. First, we're going to be taking a look at your oracle cards. So you have companion. So the light attributes are loyalty, tenacity, and unselfishness. The shadow attributes are betrayal by misusing confidences, loss of personal identity. Let's keep your companion card here and see how this is fitting in your reading. On one side, you have understanding, and you have some companions as well here in the card, especially with Krishna's assistance story here. This is a story about suitors to get married to someone. This is not a relationship reading, but I'm just saying there's the idea of companionship, of your shadow is drawing your attention towards maybe your relationship with other people, or we'll see. So on one side there's understanding, on the other there is mistake. Last oracle deck, you have barrel. You feel something is lacking in your life, perhaps love, money, or goals. Okay, let's keep your cards here and take a look at the rest. I'll figure out a way for you to see it in a second. All right, so you have the 5 of Wands. You have the Queen of Wands. You have the 4 of Swords. The Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Wands. I feel like this is going to be a really significant reading. You have Strength. You have the 9 of Cups with laziness. And you have the 5 of Pentacles with the outsider. Okay. How about we put it here so you can see your cards better? Yes. Okay, so what are we seeing? Pile number 1. Yes, straight away just as the barrel here is explaining, you feel that there's something lacking in your life. And since we've noticed from the very beginning that it's about companionship, about community, I see here with the 5 of Cups and the outsider that your shadow is focusing today's message on healing your connections, not with people. It's severing ties, not with the old people, but with the idea of reconnecting back and creating healthy, beautiful connections in your life, pile number 1. Because it looks like with the 9 of Cups here, that you've left all that's broken behind. You've broken ties with the toxic communities or the people that were in your life. Good for you. Good for you. You've done the right thing. You've gained strength during that time. And with the 9 of Cups, you found a lot of peace and healing in doing that. Do you see? Sorry, we'll get into it in a second. But actually, I want to finish what I wanted to say here. And so with that, yes, you found peace. But at the same time, with the 5 of Cups, I feel like you're also missing out on a lot of things that you want to do. You feeling connected with others. Feeling companionship, having a beautiful community. And so as much as you would love to do that, as much as you don't want to ruin that peace that you have created, pile number 1. So you have initially solved it this way, which your shadow is showing here, but my perspective is actually that this is reminding me of sometimes solving a situation by going to an extreme. And sometimes it is important to go to that extreme, but we must always go back. You know how when something is tilted, like a metal piece that you have is like bended on one side and you want to bring it in the middle, so you bend it extremely on the other side so that when you put it in the middle, it's seamlessly, almost seamlessly in the middle, back in its place. So we see your shadow showing you here that you've taken this time to go through a metamorphosis process that you definitely have gone through. You see here with the 4 of Swords, we kind of see angel wings and angel dress, illumination in the head. It's like you have gone through this metamorphosis process, blossomed during this healing time alone. You've learned so much about yourself. We see nail polish here, so cute. You've taken good care of yourself. You've thought very well about this transformational, because you're underground here, this transformational process that you've been going through. Why whatever happened. You've learned so much about people, about your mistakes, about your mistakes towards yourself and others, people's mistakes towards themselves and others. And now we see your shadow self saying that you have the strength to now go on and face the very things that you may not have enjoyed in the past. Now that you're stronger and wiser, now that you've reflected, you've understood yourself so much, and you've understood the world around you so much, your shadow self is highlighting the fact that it's time to go out there, be known, talk to people, to be proud of your achievements, to be proud of nail polish again, proud of the healing you've done, to show yourself out there. And I'll tell you what you are afraid of in a second, but we see that now you have the capability to face the very same challenges, competitiveness, petty things, that you were afraid to deal. You know, with all of these tomatoes, sometimes you have to go through several bad tomatoes to find that right tomato, to leave all these tomatoes. Like, you have to take out the bad tomatoes and to get that one tomato that is healthy and good. And so we see here, pile number 1, the idea of you thinking, well, what if it doesn't work? And the reason, what if this and that happened to me? And your shadow self is shedding a light on guarantee. I'll tell you why. Let me bring this card up close as I tell you the story. Can you see it? Now you can. So what I'm seeing here, let me first tell you the story. It's a really interesting story with Krishna's assistance here. So there was one time where there was an archery competition, as you can see, to ask for the princess's hand. And so there was a lot of, what are they called? Contestants? Suitors. There were a lot of suitors who wanted to join this archery competition. And in order to ask for the princess's hand, one had to target, aim at a fish's eye that was hanging from the ceiling. And actually it's drawn on the card. Let me show you. That was hanging from the ceiling and going round. A little bit of a of a tough challenge, but there is how it went. And the fish was going round. Now the trick was, one should not look straight at the fish as it was going round. One had to aim at the fish while looking at its shadow in a bowl on a table, right down there. And that was the trick. So Krishna was helping one of the suitors, I think called Arjuna, giving Arjuna advice, standing there by him and telling him what to do exactly to aim correctly, giving him all the advice to go through this competition and win. So Arjuna got so excited and asked Krishna, what if I get all of this right? What if I do all of this right? What will you do for me, my Lord? In which Krishna answered, I will make sure that I keep the water stable. And this shows us that here the idea wasn't for Krishna to go and stop the fish for him or to make it happen, and for Arjuna to marry the princess. But there is divine help. One must do things themselves. Yes, there is divine help, but at the end of the day, we got to do it ourselves. And there is no guarantee, right? Yes, there is help. And so the idea here is not to depend on winning life's challenges necessarily. Yes, we got to try our best and be equipped and do what we want. But the idea also here is not to get and try to make connections and to keep our hands crossed that it won't go wrong. Otherwise, we're just going to stay alone. The idea is to be okay, to be strong with the challenges, to be okay that things may go wrong, to have that type of acceptance. If it doesn't go right, you let them go and you meet other people. Because it is only in meeting, just like the tomatoes, meeting so many people that we find these very special, dear people that we otherwise wouldn't have met. I mean, what would life be without them? Or will be without being able to meet them in the future? And so here with the inner child, you've taken such good care of your inner child, pile number 1. This is what your shadow self is showing you. You've done some marvelous job. Now it's at least ready for you to shine with the Queen of Wands. Yeah. It's time for you to shine, my dear pile number one. And that's a message from your shadow. It's time for you to shine. With all this candy, it's like your eye candy, your personality's eye candy. You're like someone so impressive now. You must have done amazing work. Yeah, with all this candy dress, you are someone who's so attractive, who's so wanted by so many people if you put yourself out there. And the idea that your shadow self is expressing here is that there are no guarantees. You will meet the good and you will meet the bad. But so what? Once you accept that this happens, that the world isn't always a perfect place, there's the good and there's the bad. And to be okay to go through it, and even if it takes 5 years to find out that someone is not good, one should have acceptance of whatever happens. Let them go, shine and continue to shine, and know that you will go out and do better and get better. And to be okay when it's time to be alone, to be prepared for that time when you are going to be alone, or to know that you've made a lot of people and that you won't be alone. Whatever life throws your way, you must go out and try. And it's the same, it's even the same with business. It's like having a dream that you want to achieve so much, but not trying at all. Because what are you going to do if it fails? What if you put all of this year's effort and it doesn't work? And so, what choice do you have? To not go after your dream, or to go after your dream even if it fails? You say, my dream is the most important thing. Let go of the past. Let's try again and again and again. And as you go along, to keep yourself equipped with knowledge, with finances, with savviness, with connections, whatever it is, so that the next time you fall, you're much more padded than previously, and so on. And that's how it's done. And yes, it was really important to keep yourself out of the game for a while. You needed that to heal. In fact, with the 9 of Cups, that was just the right thing to get yourself to heal and to give yourself that happiness that you needed, that tranquility, that peace. And you've done a marvelous job in healing your inner child, and now you're glowing. You're really glowing, pile number one. I don't know what you've done, but you've grown a lot of strength. You've gone through this metamorphosis project, blossomed, looking great. And now your shadow self is saying, you're ready. You're ready to go out into the world. Go out, explore, meet the good, meet the bad. And within all of this, you'll find beautiful people that you would not imagine your life without them. You'll find all these amazing people. Will there be bad apples? Yes, there will be. But so what? That doesn't threaten you. Let it go. Move on. Have acceptance and get back on your horse. Pile number one. All in all, pile number one, your shadow self is saying you are ready. You've done that transformation. And pile number one, so happy for you. I wish you all the best of luck. It was so nice meeting you here or sharing your energy in your reading. Thank you for tuning in. If you've enjoyed your reading, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. Don't forget to click on your notification bell. And please don't forget to check out my productivity book, pile number one. This book is small, straight to the point, and so you won't procrastinate or waste time reading it. But you'll find that it has all the key advice and secrets to becoming a productive person right away, all while enjoying this process. You'll find that this book truly holds true to this promise. And if you're interested in checking it out, you'll find a link to this ebook down in the description box. And now there's also an audiobook if you enjoy and love audiobooks like me. Pile number one, wishing you all the best. I know you're going to shine like a diamond. And thank you for tuning in. And I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, pile number two. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen the beautiful yellow Aventurine. as well as this very interesting card, Arjuna's Dilemma. Such an interesting story depicted on this card of the Mahabharata war. We'll talk about it in a second, depending on how it fits into your reading. And let's take a look at your oracle cards first to begin your reading. So you have God. Ooh, okay. So the light attributes are benevolence and compassion, recognizing the eternal force. Okay, now I get what's going on. Within yourself and others. Shadow attributes, despotism and cruelty, using power to control people. All right, so let's keep this right there. You also have, on this card, one side it says delighted, and the other says sorrowful. Okay. You have bowl, plenty of material things. All right, let's just keep it here for now until we create space, and I'm gonna put it towards the end. But let's take a look at your tarot cards. So you have the Six of Wands. You have the Two of Swords. You have the Emperor. You have the Five of Swords. Okay. You also have the Three of Swords. You have the Ten of Swords. The Four of Swords with postponement. The Ace of Pentacles with maturity. And you have, wow, ending your reading, the Wheel of Fortune with change. So, yeah, that's why you have the ball here. All right. In your reading, pile number 2, we can clearly see that you're a compassionate, spiritual person. With benevolence here, you're someone who does many things for others without any returns. You give so much of yourself. You're not waiting for a return. You're genuinely a kind, empathetic person. So much so is your empathy that sometimes you get the blow. Instead of setting a boundary, a strong boundary between you and immature people, you're here presented as the Emperor, as God, someone who's very mature, very wise, and in fact, very strong. You are what they call a strong empath. And maybe you are the type of person with all this given that may be taken as someone who's weak because of their kindness. But make no mistake, pile number 2, you are definitely here presented as the Emperor. Someone who's strong, stable, and when you hit back very strongly. One of your hits really kills. There's no question about it. So much so, knowing that you have that power, you really take it back from hurting others. Sometimes you take the blow just so you don't hurt someone who seems to be acting in a silly way, who's exposed. You can see what they're doing, because maybe in your mind you are strong, you can keep your balance, but maybe you're worried about them not being able to take the blow. Here is the thing, pile number 1. Sword after sword, this is gonna accumulate and it's going to weigh down your strength. The way you're standing strong here, one little by little is going to deplete. is going to be depleted by the many swords that you take just to protect others. Be careful, pile number 2. In fact, this is now we understand why you have Arjuna's dilemma here. Such an interesting story. So, like I said, this is a story on the first morning of the war of the Mahabharata, where here you see Arjuna, and Krishna himself was chosen to be the charioteer of Arjuna. And here's the thing. The minute Arjuna stepped into the battlefield and looked at his enemies, he was shocked. He stood there in shock with a huge dilemma, because on the other side were family members. These were fathers, brothers, teachers that he loved, friends that he has. These are dear people that he loved. How was he going to fight with strength, knowing that these people are on the other side? And so the dilemma was, he felt he couldn't do that, but at the same time, he promised his people to uphold the dignity of his word, the dignity of his brothers, on the dignity of his wife, and he promised to, and he vowed, in fact, to fight for righteousness, for dharma. And so, being in this tricky situation, baffled on what to do, feeling that he can't do that, not knowing what to do now, he looked up to Krishna and asked him, "What can I do?" And so in that very moment, Krishna is said to give Arjuna the wisdom of true righteousness, which is the Bhagavad Gita. And by learning and receiving this wisdom, Arjuna was able to do the right thing. And he was able to go through this war with courage, to fight for righteousness, to do the right thing, and to win a war that they felt was impossible to win. So with this story, we see your shadow self choosing to tell you, especially with the yellow Aventurine, courage and boldness, strength. We see that despite the fact that some things may feel hard to do, that one stops to think whether it is the right thing to do or not, because our empathy is standing. Sometimes our very own empathy could be the very same weapon against us. Just as other people are important, pile number 2, you too are important. And you cannot protect someone who's planning to hit you, one hit after the other. Don't depend on the strength, because one after the other, eventually you will not be able to uphold your strength. Your idea about how strong you are will deplete, and you have to rebuild that strength that you celebrate so much and find your balance again, all over again. See, the Two of Swords speaks of maybe you not seeing things the right way. You think you have the balance, but slowly you're falling, pile number 2. And that is what your shadow self is trying to show you. Be the empathetic person that you are. Be the wonderful giving person that you are, and never change that. But at the same time, true maturity lies in knowing when to use that empathy for others and when to use it for yourself. Because you too are worthy of this protection. Pile number 2. You too are worthy of this protection. And if you were on the outside seeing two people, you would have definitely stood up for the people who were in the wrong, tried to protect them from the people who were trying to hurt them, especially if they were very adamant about hurting them. And so you should do the same for yourself. Do not feel sorry for the people who are planning to hit at you. Yes, be careful what to do. I'm not saying go all in and kill them and do exactly what they're doing, but you must take the right measures to stop them, even if it initially doesn't feel right. And so this way you regulate and moderate your empathy to put it in the right frame, not to just let it all out without being mindful of it. Sometimes it's doing you right, but sometimes, just like every other emotion, it could hinder your growth, right? So we see here that limiting your empathy in the right place, limiting it to the right place by setting rules of when someone didn't do me all that wrong, I can respond back kindly to set the limit. They will understand. But if someone does not understand and is planning to hit me, is planning to, with the Five of Swords, to do whatever it takes to get what they want. No. At that point, I have to limit my empathy. I have to control it and not let it control me. Because now my empathy is not doing the right thing for me. Because I am important too, and not the others out on the outside. And so this way you keep your balance the right way, pile number 2. We see here your shadow self telling you that the repression of the actions that you needed to take because of empathy has led to a long time of sorrowness, because you had to face the consequences every single time of letting it go, of not doing what you need to do to win with the Six of Wands. Thinking you were balancing yourself, doing the right thing, when in fact with the Two of Swords you may have been just a little bit blinded by your empathy. And we see your shadow self, once you release that part and know that you should not feel guilty or bad towards standing up strong. Yes, your hit is going to be strong. I'm going to tell you that. You are the emperor in this reading, pile number 2. You're definitely going to hit strong. Yes, but that sets the boundary. That teaches this other person forever that there are consequences to the things that they do. This way they will learn. Who else will teach them that lesson but someone as strong as you, and someone that has that empathetic nature to them, where they know where to stop, where not to continue to go. How else and who better would they learn from? Pile number 2. And on the other side, your message is you need to heal this sorrow. If you feel sorrow in your heart, if you're wondering where this unconscious sorrow and sadness is from, this sorrow is the accumulation of years and years of taking things, for being empathetic, for being wise, for doing the right thing. Are you wise? Oh, yes, you are. But the sad part is you're very strong and you did not exercise this strength to protect yourself, not to harm others. And so your shadow self is specifically saying that once you stand in your power, stop what is not right, the more you heal this sorrow and become the joyful, happy person that you are meant to be. Pile number 2. Wow, what a strong message. We see that with the happiness here, it's like maybe that is the last thing you have in your shadow to heal. You're healing your shadow completely by stepping into your power. We see with the Wheel of Fortune that once you step into your emperor self, things will change in your life completely, from the small things to the big things. You are going to be surprised just how much blessings you were stopping from entering your life by not standing in your power. You will see how so many of the things that the people were doing around you and the things that happened to you or didn't happen to you were for the very reason that you did not stand in your emperor power, pile number 2. And that is your message from your shadow self, pile number 2, sending you a big hug. I know you're a strong person. I can see it. I know you see it too, and I know you know it. So stand there in your power, pile number 2. Never let anyone cross their lines with you. You hit hard, I know. Just do it. Just hit it hard. And regain back your strength. You are important too. So pile number 2, that was your reading. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. Don't forget to click on your notification bell. And please don't forget to check out my productivity book, pile number 2. This book is small, straight to the point, and so you won't procrastinate or waste time reading it, but you'll find that it has all the key advice and secrets to becoming a productive person right away, all while enjoying this process. And so if you're interested in checking it out, you'll find a link to this ebook down in the description box. And now there's also an audiobook if you love and enjoy audiobooks like me. And pile number 2, it was a real pleasure doing this reading for you. Thank you for tuning in. Wishing you all the best of luck, and I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye. Hi, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. You have chosen this beautiful red Jasper, as well as Shibi's Selflessness. Such a beautiful story of Shibi here. We'll see how this fits into your reading. So let's for now keep it right there. And let's take a look at the rest of your cards. We'll be starting off with your oracle cards. And I remember in the shuffling preparation process, you got 2 of these tea leaves. And let's begin. So you have Father. Let's adjust that. There we go. The light attributes are talent for creating and supporting life. Goes very much with Shibi's energy. Positive guiding light within a tribal unit. Absolutely. Shadow attributes are dictatorial control, abuse of authority. Okay, let's keep this here. And you have acknowledgement on one side and challenged on the other. Right. So let's take a look at your tea leaves. You have clouds with temporary problems, and you have ladder climbing towards success. Isn't this really cool? All right, let's keep them here so that we have space for your tarot cards. So you have the 9 of Wands. You have the Page of Pentacles. What a beautiful Page of Pentacles. You have, with a little sadness here, you have the Chariot. Wow, you have the 10 of Cups. Love the energy of the 10 of Cups. You have the Page of Swords. You seem to be a very brilliant person. You have the 7 of Wands. You have what is it called? Judgment, brain freeze with Beyond Illusion. And you have Courage. Sorry, the Strength card with the word courage. I had some brain freezing for a moment here. I wonder how this is fitting in your reading. Yes, actually, I understand now. So, obviously, you're a very smart person. But with the scarf around the head here, I kind of feel like in a certain area, you might want to broaden your perspective about one thing. I really see you here with temporary problems and climbing towards success. Your shadow is shedding a light on you, acknowledging the fact that you may be hindering your own self at some times when it comes to achieving the things that you want. Yes, obviously there are problems. There are many things maybe hindering you back at the moment, and so it looks like a wall at the moment. It looks like there isn't much that one can do to get out of these issues. But this is why you have this courage card. Your shadow self is telling you that it's not true, the idea that it's so cloudy and you won't be able to get out of it. It's not true at all. We see your shadow self speaking about the solution in a second. We'll get to it. But you see your shadow self is saying, despite of the challenges, you're meant to rise. The idea that you can't is an idea that you've built in your mind, one that is not true. And we can of course see how smart and brilliant that you are. I mean, smart and brilliant. Because you have here presented in the Page of Swords, Denis Diderot, which is a French writer and philosopher and novelist. He was a prominent figure in the Age of Enlightenment. When he grew up, he was the one to... he was the chief editor of the encyclopedia, putting all of this knowledge together. And you see him here as a child, which signifies creativity, you know. Pages are also the beginning of something, looking at a bubble. And the bubbles, you know, these soap bubbles, they last for a short time and they poof, they blow. And so we see your mind is full of brilliance, creativity, ideas that pop up, amazing things that you could do, but their energies don't last because there is this idea that you can't at the moment because of the challenges that you have. The challenges that you have in your life with the Nine of Wands, as we can see. And so these brilliant ideas never make it to life. So you're not challenged by ideas or intelligence. You are challenged by the thought of not being able to go through with them because of the challenges in your life. You see here with climbing towards success, we're gonna get at it in a moment. With the Page of Pentacles and the Chariot, we see here the same message that we see in the main card that you were drawn to with Shibi's selflessness. I don't know why I keep saying selfishness. Selflessness, of course. And so the story here is that Shibi was known to be a very just person who was so strong that it was said that single-handedly he could conquer the whole world. And so he was also so kind that whenever anyone came to his rescue, whenever anyone came for his assistance, he was always there to help. They never returned empty-handed. And so his word or his reputation of being a charitable person, a kind, helpful person, spread across all around, far and wide, until one day Lord Indra heard of him, and he was a little skeptical and decided to test him to see if he really was selfless, if he really helped people. And so he asked Lord Agni to help him out in this mission to find out more about Shibi, and he asked him to turn into a sparrow and go ask for Shibi's help. So it is, Lord Agni turned into a sparrow and landed on Shibi's lap, and asked for his refuge, or asked for his protection. He said that an eagle wanted to capture him and eat him, and he was really asking for him to protect him, to save him from the falcon. Not the eagle, sorry, falcon. And so at this moment, Lord Idra turned into the falcon, came in, tried to eat the sparrow, and Shibi started negotiating with the falcon, who was in fact Indra, of course. And the falcon said, "You have no right to take away what is mine, my sustenance. And so you have to give the sparrow back to me." And now Shibi was in a pickle, didn't know exactly what to do. And so thought for a moment and stuck through what he always does, help whoever comes his way. He gave his word to the sparrow. So he negotiated with the falcon, and he said, "Fine, instead of you taking the falcon, how about in the falcon's weight, I'll cut from my own flesh and give it to you in its weight." Right, so the falcon agreed and said, "Okay, that's a good deal for me." They put the sparrow on one end of the balance, and then Shibi kept cutting from his own skin and putting it on the balance. On and on and on. And of course, Lord Indra asked Lord Agni to what's the word? Increase his weight significantly. So no matter how many times Shibi would cut from his skin and put into the balance, the sparrow would still outweigh it greatly. And so here was the thing. How far was Shibi willing to go? And this is what the Lord Indra was testing Shibi. But the fact of the matter is, Shibi kept selflessly cutting from his own skin and putting into the balance to make sure he saves that sparrow. And so he went so far that the Lord Indra now really believed him, felt so bad, felt so moved is the word I was looking for, felt so moved with how far Shibi can go just to save someone who came and asked for his help. And of course he blessed Shibi and restored him back fully. So we see your shadow telling you here the exact message. We're not taking from your own skin, of course. I see your shadow saying, commit to your goal, no matter what it takes. And you will find that the more you commit and put to your goal, towards your goals, despite these problems, you will find that at some point these were temporary problems, and that you're going very quickly towards your success and your happiness. You have the 10 of Cups here. You will achieve huge success. You're meant to do that despite of all the adversities and the challenges that you have at the moment. And so we see the idea of letting your dreams be your guiding light. Whenever you're challenged with many things, keep your mind open that you have one goal, one dream, and you're going to do something about it. And with the Page of Pentacles, it's not about taking leaps every day. It's talking about small incremental steps every single day that will eventually lead to huge leaps into what you want to achieve, creating that momentum, that very same momentum that will change your life entirely. With the Judgment, you will rise beyond what you thought was a fantasy, killing that illusion that you thought was reality when in fact it wasn't. Pile number 3. You're not someone who lacks ideas. You're a very smart, creative person, and you pop ideas like popcorn. And so take the biggest. Take the one that speaks to your heart. Take the one that you would love to achieve, is what your shadow self is telling you. Because in contrast, you are going to shine in this area. And just like Shibi, commit every day, even if it's hard, even if it hurts, even if it takes so much from you to take these steps every day. It's only going to feel that in the beginning, because as you move, pile number 3, you will create momentum, you will be blessed, and slowly but surely you're going to move towards huge success. You're meant to do something big. That's why you have all of this intelligence, all of this creativity, and all of this brilliance. And you, in this lifetime, you're meant to overcome yourself, not the challenges, yourself, pile number 3. Once you conquer yourself and take steps despite of these challenges, you will find your success right on the other side, right away, as you just begin and you create that momentum of blessings, of energy and blessing flowing into your life, pile number 3. And because of that, the most important challenge that you are highlighted to overcome is the biggest challenge, which is overcoming your belief that it can't be done now, which is so untrue, pile number 3. It is that very same belief that it's not going to happen. Maybe you're not lucky. Maybe there are so many things that are hindering. What are you going to do? Where's the time? Where's the effort? Where's this? Where's that? Your shadow is here to tell you that these are illusions, and to go beyond these illusions, because it is on the other side of these thoughts that you will find your success, your ultimate happiness, and your achievement. And despite all of the things that you feel are blocking your way, you're going to rise, pile number 3. You're going to blossom, rise, and shine. And your life is going to be filled with so many blessings. This is exactly what I can see in your reading. This is exactly what I see your shadow self is encouraging you to do. Pile number 3, you are meant for greatness. Don't let one thought be in the way. Remember when I was reading this in the beginning, putting your cards in, suddenly I had a brain freeze. And that's it. It's these ideas that are creating this freeze in your life that are not meant to be there. You're meant to rise to the stars, to be some sort of guiding light for others, but first for yourself, pile number 3. You're meant to do so much, and your shadow is really telling you to tap into your light. You're going to find so many surprises, so many happiness, so much happiness, and so many blessings right on the other side, right at the beginning of your journey, pile number 3. You're going to see. And that was your reading. I'm wishing you all the best of luck. May you get up, fulfill your dreams, and catch them in your own hands one day very soon. So that was your reading, pile number 3. I hope you've enjoyed it. And if you have, please give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel so that you never miss a reading that I upload. Don't forget to click on your notification bell. And please don't forget to check out my productivity book, pile number 3. This book is small, straight to the point, and so you won't procrastinate or waste time reading it, but you'll find that it has all the key advice and secrets to becoming a productive person right away, all while enjoying this process. And if you're interested in checking it out, you'll find a link to this ebook down in the description box. And now there's also an audiobook if you love and enjoy audiobooks like me. And I'm sure, pile number 3, this book could really help you out in these times take you out smoothly, happily, and with so much motivation and with so many tools to help you during these times where you don't feel like it, or to have the right mindset to be productive every time and enjoy it. So pile number 3, thank you so much for tuning in. Love you so much. Wishing you all the best of luck. Encouraging you from my heart. Please take it from my heart to yours. And I'll catch you in the next reading. Bye.